Don't ever buy one of these lights. They're junk. And some people are starting to say that the spectrum they give off is unhealthy. I don't know if I buy into that. You can see it's got a burnout cell there and there. And just like a solar panel, you lose one, you lose the whole string. All right, I blocked out the two dead ones so I would know which one it was. And I believe those two cells are causing the problem with the rest of the panel. So with the board, you cannot access the bottom. So I got a pair of pliers. And then I just chipped that diode off of there. Definitely probably gonna be a fire hazard now. And bang. Oh. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. So if you get one of these pieces of junk, just bust the bulb that don't work right anymore, and it will light right back up. All right, I can get something done now. One of the reasons I decided to post this video is because this is the reason why I would never put solar panels on my house. We saw how two dead cells caused this entire array to fail. Now, if this was a large solar panel array, sometimes the voltages can get pretty high, higher than I ever knew. And what'll happen is you can burn out a whole panel if you lose just one cell. And something as simple as bird poop landing on your solar cell on top of your house can block out one little region, which then acts as a resistor. We saw how the whole bank went dim because those two bad cells were acting as resistors. Shade can do the same thing. If you have a tree in your yard, a certain time of day, the shade blocks half your solar panel. The resistance of that particular section of panel is now increased exponentially. So when the area of the solar panel that's lit by the sun is trying to push current through that dead zone long enough, it can actually cause a fire. So that's one of those little hidden realities that these green energy idiots aren't even aware of, or they just won't tell you. So to speak in layman's terms, to someone who's never actually done the mathematics involved in the energy consumption of the average American, they are trying to tell you that you can heat your entire house with a single candle. That is how far off the disparity between reality and this lie of green energy they're trying to sell you. The real fact of green energy is just phasing poor people out of the ability to buy electricity and energy. That's the green part. It's not that the technology works. Hell no, it don't work. The amount of electricity needed to charge the batteries of our cars, listen to this, you green energy idiots, okay? One car is 250,000 watts. A 50-unit apartment building could almost run on that much power. So that'd be 5,000 watts per apartment. That's almost enough to run an apartment. When you're not heating or cooling, that's more than enough to run a whole house. Microwave, air conditioning, all that stuff. You can't really run hot water heaters and dryers on that kind of power. That's when you need, the big boost. But to put it in perspective, one car can run an entire 50-unit apartment building. How many people do you know have cars? You know how big our current electric grid is, right? So if that can run all those people's homes, imagine if we now needed to add 50 cars to that 50-unit apartment building. Now we'd need 50 more power lines for each car. Literally 50 more electrical lines bringing power to that building so these 50 people can charge their car now, because their car battery it takes about 200,000 watts to get around. I use about 350 to 400,000 watts when I'm driving around, just to I'm in a hurry sometimes, so I'm not trying to be cool, never that, but that's how stupid. So these windmills and all this crap, that's green energy is meant to remove energy users from the planet, not to provide green energy.